Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
I am Mitch English, and from what my understanding is, this is Daily Flash.
Yippee-oo!
And we are so happy to have you here. We got a whole hour of fun waiting for you. Sweet baby James is in the Flash back room. He, of course, answering your social media and so much more. James, what's the skedaddle?
Hey guys, sorry you caught me flexing. You know I gotta flex.
Yeah,
Question of the day: what's a movie or TV show you think everyone pretends to love, but you just don't get the hype? That's our question of the day. Please like, comment, and share.
That's a good question.
I got
bro.
one.
What's yours, Maddie?
Lord of the Rings.
What? Okay,
What's
where,
your
you just
TV
can't
show?
get into it?
Okay.
I'm going to get hated when I say this, but Monty Python, I
What?
was forced.
Oh, come on.
Right there, that's what I get. I was forced to like it, and I think that's why I don't
I
like
can
it.
see that.
The Holy Grail?
That's
Yeah.
what I get. Keep going.
Yeah.
Life of Brian, say all the
Brian.
names.
Oh, Life
it
of
doesn't
Brian,
mean
yeah.
anything.
But Holy Grail, come on. That's a classic.
I'm not saying
No,
they're bad.
I got you. I can understand.
I'm not in the cult
It
of.
just doesn't. It doesn't work for you.
And then you marry somebody
Yeah.
who's a big Monty Python fan, and you're like, okay, I don't get it. Well, you're gonna watch
my.
all my crap.
My
now.
wife can't get
Yeah.
any of the Mel Brooks stuff I show her. She just doesn't.
What?
She just doesn't get
What?
it. Yeah,
How can
that's
you
what I
not?
say.
Exactly. Matt, what are you up to besides loving Monty Python?
I love me some Monty Python, but you can love our website, dailyflashshow.com. Go on there. Send us your movie that you don't just understand why everybody else loves it. Flash@dailyflashshow.com. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff. I met somebody one time that just didn't get Jaws. And I was like,
not
what
get
is
Jaws?
wrong with you?
Yeah.
Basic.
I mean,
yeah.
it's a
Jaws
shock.
and Back to the Future are the two perfect movies ever made.
I'll give you Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Jaws was perfect, changed cinema, and
Yeah.
I was afraid to get in a swimming pool because of that movie.
I'll say this,
Swimming
and I will get hate mail for
What's
this.
yours?
Game of Thrones. I
same.
tried to
I'm the
watch
same way,
it.
girl.
I tried 2 times and I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. I'm not a castle dragon person. I've
That-
realized.
Right. I just couldn't. I couldn't chime in. James is laughing at us. James.
Hey, I'm just telling you, mine is Twilight. I was forced to
Well,
watch Twilight.
That's
because you're not a 14-year-old
all 3
girl.
I'm a little
movies.
bit to
Yes.
say that, right?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I think what it is like when you talk about Game of Thrones or Lord of the Flies or Lord of the Rings rather. And Lord of the Flies is a good movie, good book.
Yeah.
I remember reading that. Anyway, but it's because all right, you're late to the party.
Yes.
You don't want to get. You're like, man, there's 15 episodes I'm going to have to watch
Yep.
to get caught up, so then when I go into work, I can talk to you about. And you're like, it just ain't worth it. And
yeah.
then maybe down 10 years from now, then I'll go back and look at it when I have my own time.
It's one of those, the ship has sailed.
Yeah, there you
I
go,
missed
yeah.
the boat, and I just don't want to jump on that. There are so many other things I'd rather spend 15 hours watching.
That's part of one of
Yeah.
the episodes where the
Where they
the
missed
boat
the
was
boat,
leaving
the
and
dragon,
they couldn't get the chair in there for some reason.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. New study out that says most adults say they would redo college as an adult or pursue a more practical degree if they could do it all over again. Mitch?
Well, I know. I knew what I wanted to do since I was a child.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
but you know, it's I could see. Are they saying they would change their career or
Yes.
what they did in college?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I
A
think
little bit of both,
I
yeah.
think and that's the thing. That's why people change
Yeah.
their majors so many times because you don't
Yes.
know. And guess what? That's part of life. But then you realize, man, I just spent how much money to do this the rest of my life.
Yeah, I mean, and they think most of the respondents also say the most useful degrees in today's job market would be artificial intelligence, machine learning, healthcare, cybersecurity, and accounting. But 1 in 4 say they would want a college do-over. They don't think they'd have the same college experience, and they actually might treat it a little differently now that they've had a little perspective.
Yeah.
But most people feel like their degrees are not really fulfilling their career aspirations.
There's a book by Steve Martin wrote. He was his autobiography. It's called Bored Stand Up. And in it, he talks about the things that he's learned growing up. And he's like, I don't know why I'm learning this. He goes, everything that you learn, you will use somewhere along the line. So now if you're contemplating that, if you're one of these people
Yeah.
that Jackson was kind of referring to, is that you go, all right, well, I am an accountant. How can I be an accountant that or let's say I want to change a career. How can I use the accountant things I've learned as being an accountant in this new career, and and start over, or just go back to college again and learn that and use those skills.
Exactly. 22% say they would pursue a new degree. 34% would go back as an older student, which is kind of interesting. So to go back as an older student, most people said they would prefer a hybrid learning environment where they could do some at home, some on college campus. primarily most at home. I think they'd like to just learn from the computer. AI is the most useful degree, according to everybody that they asked. And a lot of people are saying they're worried that AI will make their jobs irrelevant. So they think they should go back to school, and AI is now perceived as the most useful degree.
You mentioned about that, and accounting is one of them, 13%,
Yes.
which AI seems like would take over. It's a very vulnerable kind of position or job, because AI seems like it can do it. If you think about all the things, what we're doing right now, AI could take over. We know that.
Yes.
Will it be any good? Probably better than me, but even still, there's still we're so far away from it. I feel I'm okay with that, but you got to have that into your job scope.
Well, that's why you're seeing people go back to trade schools now. Plumbers, mechanics, all that stuff that AI can't do, because the marketing industry, I can tell you from all the kind of the realms I roam in, is getting destroyed by AI, and they're going to their employees going, well, we're going to pay you a quarter less than what you're making because you're doing a quarter of the work, or we're going to get this college kid who is trained in AI, and they're just going to do the whole thing for you.
Can I add an extra scenario? Is the plumber comes over and they go, I got to pay you what to refix that leak?
Yes.
And I'm making, that takes me a month to make that,
Yes.
And so, because that is a job that is needed. You're going to need somebody to be a plumber. You're 100% right.
Well, the trade school thing is really interesting, because a lot of people are thinking, well, I'll go to trade school first, get my job, and then I'll think about going to college, because then I can pay for college and I can see if I really need it. Will it be beneficial to me in the long run? Yeah. And I remember doing a couple stories on trade schools. People who were into welding were already being offered jobs, a year before their graduation, and they were 6-figure jobs they were graduating with. So it's like, well, then what's the point of going to a traditional 4-year college where you end up $300,000 in debt versus going to a trade school for a couple of years and leaving with a job that actually can pay you?
As you were talking about that, I was thinking my best friend's son, Weston, who actually is down here going to Disney World this week, but he is still in college. Already has a job. He's an engineer. He's doing engineering. This kid could have played college ball, maybe even, he's a big old dude. He goes, I just don't like football. I like engineering. And I'm like, dude, I want to be you.
Right?
Because he's like, this is what I like to do. And I'm telling you, look at him and you're like, man, he could have been a linebacker, center, whatever. And he had scholarships. He graduated literally top of his class, and a very smart kid, obviously, and just has a great attitude about life. And I was like, that's what I need, is that you know what you like. And he goes, I like engineering. Already has a job working for the government, by the way. Some government contractor. He says, I can't tell you any more about what I'm going to be doing.
Or I'll have to kill you.
He said, he goes, I can't tell you anymore. I'm not allowed to tell you what I'll be working on.
Well, I think a lot of it was in my generation and stuff, and especially with my wife. I look at her; she's a working attorney for a corporation, and the amount of student loan debt that she still has from getting that degree, so she could get the job that's supposed to pay off the degree, is it's insane.
We push and push and push, or at least the generation before, we push. You got to go to college if you're going to make anything, and that's what you heard your parents say, and that sort of thing. And now you also have, as you mentioned, a hybrid situation where you can take college courses online, and and more than likely have a family, and so they're probably contemplating, well, I need to learn something to go down and follow a new career. So we didn't have that availability when we were younger.
And I think a lot of older adults who are even contemplating going back to college don't see it as an environment that's suitable for them. So that's why that hybrid thing might work out best. Because you imagine if you're, 40, 50 years old sitting in a classroom of 20-somethings, you're like, I cannot.
Actually, I do know that feeling. I feel that every day when I walk in here and I got this hot chick I have to sit next to all the time. She won't let me cheat off of her.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's, I think, old school, too. You know? It's like, you're kind of lampooned before going, I think that's going to change after a while. People are going to get used to older people going back to college. Or, again, you can do it online.
Yeah.
So thoughts on this? Are you in a career that you really wish you could change? Or maybe you're in the situation that Jax was talking about. Our website's open and waiting for you. It's dailyflashshow.com. Just click on the sound off button and you'll be able to hear from you. Terrifying video now, some trending stories here. It shows a small kid running down a Florida highway at night, almost getting hit by a car. A cop managed to rescue him. Look at your screen. We'll pop it up here. A sergeant on patrol. He was spotted the youngster running between traffic lanes. Look at that. Dash cam showed a driver narrowly missing hitting the boy. The boy caught after the officer jumps out and runs after him. He was returned home after the ordeal. Good news. Cops say that the parents were not at fault for the boy escaping from the house, And I understand that, having 4 children.
boy.
Sawyer used to leave our house all the time.
Really?
Once they learn how to open the door,
That's
they,
it.
they want to go out. And I remember one time, it was Saturday morning, I was watching cartoons or TV in my underwear, and we had one of those glass doors. I hear a knock, and this kid, somebody holding Sawyer, and I'm in my underwear, and he's like, "Is this your child?" I go, "Yeah, you can let him in." But luckily he didn't get on the road like that.
And Carter almost got kidnapped at
Carter-
25.
Yeah, that's true. And he was 18 of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
That's a true story. My son almost got kidnapped. More Flash.
Right after this. Stay with us. We're back.
KSA Entertainment is proud to offer programming to the men and women of our military and their families, serving all over the world on AFN, American Forces Network, seen worldwide.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Mitch English. Millions of people across the U.S. are upset over an announcement from UPS that they are destroying packages in their warehouses. Here to talk about it is Alex Bitter. He's senior retail reporter for Business Insider. Alex, great to have you. Why is UPS telling customers their packages might be destroyed?
Well, that is the million-dollar question. This is something we have heard from a number of UPS customers I've spoken with personally, both people who are just waiting on a package coming through UPS, as well as people who send lots of packages every day through the service. What this seems to be related to, as far as we can tell, is actually some of the tariff situations that have been developing over the last few months. So you may know that the Trump administration has been implementing tariffs on a lot of products from a lot of different countries. Late August is when a particular exemption expired. So this was an exemption that allowed products from a lot of countries to enter the US tariff-free as long as they were worth less than $800. So that, as you can imagine, affects a lot of things from antiques to t-shirts to just about everything you can think of. So overnight, those shipments that never had to go through the customs process all of a sudden had to go through the customs process. And that increased the volume of packages that UPS had to process. And as a result, some folks, it seems they're so overwhelmed that some folks have gotten notices saying, oh, if we can't process your package, if we don't have the right info for customs, we may just throw it out.
Oh, wow. So is there a time limit, like a 30-day, 60-day policy, or is it either you get in here now and pick up your package? What kind of policy crackdown should most consumers expect?
So unfortunately, this situation seems to be it's very hard to figure out what the hard and fast rules are here. I think I've spoken to customers who said their packages sat in a UPS warehouse for close to a month as they tried to resolve this. And even so, they still got a notice from UPS saying that their package might be thrown out. So it's very hard. And even just getting in touch with some customer service folks at UPS can be very difficult. So unfortunately, I wish I had more direct advice for folks, but it's very hard.
Sounds like a giant headache all the way around. How will customers get credit for the items that might be seized or thrown out?
So that also is sort of an open question. I've talked to folks who are trying to get refunds for their shipping and potentially for anything they've lost through UPS, but no one I've spoken to has actually got that refund in hand at the moment. I have spoken with some customers who have gone all the way up the chain to the CEO of UPS, Carol Tomei. They've been sending her and her office emails saying, hey, here's my package. What do I do? And in some cases, they've gotten responses saying, oh, we'll look into it or we'll help you get a refund. But no one I've spoken to has gotten that yet.
How many packages would you say have been impacted so far?
It's really hard to put a specific number on it, but this is really widespread. I mean, it's got to be thousands, maybe, I don't know, hundreds of thousands.
Wow.
I don't know for sure, but it's a lot of packages. And it's, again, just everything you can think of. I spoke with someone yesterday in Alabama who told me they lost a case of 12 bottles of wine he ordered from Italy.
Oh, gosh.
I spoke with someone else who was on vacation in London, and he had put a bunch of souvenirs and trinkets he bought in the UK in a box, shipped it to himself through UPS. That's lost as well. I even heard a story secondhand about someone who was waiting on his wedding ring for his wedding to come in, and that also kind of just disappeared. So we're talking about everything from what you bought on your last vacation to literally your wedding ring.
Anything?
So it's insane.
A last question for you real quick. Anything people can do to avoid the shipping nightmare?
Yeah.
So one of the best pieces of advice I can give is I've talked to business owners in Canada who ship a lot to the US, and some of them have said they've switched to other carriers such as FedEx and DHL.
Okay.
And they say things are moving much more smoothly and showing up where they need to be, which is not the case at UPS at the moment. So
Gotcha.
consider alternative services.
Okay, Alex, great information there. For more on this story, head over to dailyflashshow.com.
All right, great stuff there, Jackson. Looks like a sword swallower has gone viral after filming a video of what it looks like when she swallows an 18-inch blade during her stage act.
boy.
So now you're going to get to see it, all right? Shocking clip shows the sword moving through her larynx into her esophagus. Minsky is her name. She hopes that the video proves to skeptics that what she does is real.
Oh.
Video, all part of a new program at Columbia University where doctors and speech experts examine the throats of professionals like musicians and entertainers and apparently sword swallowers. It's hard to watch that, right?
It's really hard.
That is a skill, by all means. Don't try it at home, please. She's obviously an expert. But it proves that it was real.
Yes.
It's real what she does.
That is true.
And then she's probably popular too.
You think?
Maybe.
Maybe. A giant pink fish, a colorful peacock, and an airplane painted with the national flag. These are just a few fantasy coffins now available in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Each piece is crafted to embody the essence of the late person's life. A farmer's coffin might take the shape of the tools he used for crops, or fantasy coffins are becoming much more popular, maybe a big alternative to just simple wooden boxes. When a family in Ghana loses a loved one, they visit with a carpenter to create a fitting tribute. There you see a red pepper. There was a lion.
Cool.
I think there was a turret or a tank of some sort.
You're going to see it, and then it'll be gone forever. It's what I got to tell you. I'm telling everybody now, in case there's ever any. I want to be cremated. I don't want to take up land anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
And you think, I know we all have different ways of dealing with death and that sort of thing. If you want to be buried inside of a lion, okay. But keep in mind, you're taking up space in the earth. In 50, 100 years from now, that fiberglass fish is still going to be in the ground and a body inside it, right?
Yeah.
So,
if you want to do something really good for the earth,
yeah.
you know?
You're right. Think about that.
Hey, Mitchie.
Hey, Jackson.
Yeah, I want to talk about that big story coming out of Hollywood.
Oh, hold on. Wait. I want to get Matt in on this call, all right? Hold on.
Hey, what's up, Mitch and Dias?
Matty!
Mitchie.
Mateus.
Mitch, my man.
Matty of Berkshire.
What's going on?
Hey, AJ wants us to talk about a big story that's happening.
This kid, the Kiki, says hi. He has his own Instagram.
That's great, Matt, but I really want to talk about this big story coming out of Hollywood.
Ooh, dog and cat, it's
You should check it out. This kid, the Kiki.
I want to know what's going on.
What?
Oh, okay, so real quick. Why does he still have a dial-up modem?
Hey, I gotta get back to wrestling stuff.
It's on the music.
You know what? Maybe we should just try this later.
Okay, all right. Peace and love.
Daily Flash.
Where are you?
It's just better when you're part of the conversation. Join us online.
Hey, welcome to your furry friends this week. I am Matt Doolittle. Well, it's a heartwarming reunion straight out of a movie. After weeks of searching, the beloved Lowe's store cat Francine is back home in Richmond, Virginia. The friendly feline has been part of the Lowe's West Board Street family for 8 years. Employees say she accidentally hitched a ride on a delivery truck nearly 85 miles away to a distribution center in North Carolina. What followed was a massive rescue effort involving store associates, corporate teams, professional trackers, animal control, and even thermal drones. Yeah, it got that involved. Francine was spotted on camera, caught, and returned home. She's now back to greeting customers with a shiny new AirTag, and now she can just get me one of those 80-foot skeletons. I'd appreciate that. But that's wild, man. I'm so happy they got her home. I saw the video. They were tracking her down freaking amazing. I'm glad she's home and she's safe.
You know, it's interesting. And again, letting you know how important it is to, get
air tag them.
Tag them, air tag them on there.
Got to air tag them. And this one kind of a little disturbing, so just bear with me here. Well, deputies in Atlanta rescued about 50 dogs and cats from a home where investigators uncovered a hoarder situation. An elderly couple were arrested on felony animal cruelty charges. Now, the local Humane Society will work to treat and rehome the animals. And if you guys see anything like that out there, please call your local people around there, and they will come help. There's great nonprofits all over the country that will help with that type of stuff. So I hate to see that, but I'm glad that they're able to go in, help them, and rehome those animals.
Yeah, it's so important. They got to remember, when you bring in is another member of your family, would you do that to your kid? Would you do that? That's the mindset you got to have.
But that's a hoarder mentality if you get into that mindset.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
Bringing
Like
in
I got 2 cats, and they take up too much time. I don't know when you got 50 of them in there. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Right.
Okay, Matt, thank you. All right, we move on to some trending stories now. An avid rock climber in Montana credits his helmet for saving his life during a violent fall. It's a pretty incredible story here. As we take a look, Cody Bohm was scaling a rock wall when a loose boulder the size of a microwave came tumbling toward him. The rock dislodged him, sent him tumbling 50 feet to the ground. He broke his collarbone, 7 ribs, suffered a collapsed lung. He believes the boulder could have crushed his skull if he was not wearing a helmet.
Yeah, we say that, how important they are. They make them on purpose that way, folks, to help save your life. Same goes for riding your bikes. And we had, a few weeks ago, a doctor on here, an emergency room doctor, about helmets, how important they are for these new e-bikes.
Oh, my gosh.
And if your kid has one, first off, count how many times they actually pedal. Because they're using the electric thing the entire time. Don't even put the pedals there. Why? Why do you need it?
How fast do those things go?
They can get up to about 40 miles an hour. Some of them can, by all means.
I mean, I'm sorry, but you're a kid without a license or a registration or insurance, and you're riding a 40-mile-per-hour EV bike around the neighborhood?
And not stopping at stop signs or taking
why
right.
would you do that?
And and that's part of riding a bike.
Yes.
But it's not a bike. It's an actual motorcycle.
Yes.
You have to think of it that way.
A motorized vehicle.
Get that helmet on it. And that's another thing. There's states that have helmet laws. They should, if you're on an electric scooter, you should have a helmet.
Yes.
Florida's not one of those states, but I know that there are other states that do that.
Yeah.
So get them on there. All right, we move on now from wearing helmets to a guy that might need to be wearing some helmets. We're talking about Conor McGregor. I'm not going to say it. I'm just saying he might be a guy that does it. He's ready to take on the White House. The UFC champ says that he will compete at the White House during America's 250th birthday, which, nothing says all-American than Conor McGregor.
Good fight.
He previously said, he previously said, listen, I want $100 million payday. And
did he really?
he said, I also want 100 golden visas as payment as part of the UFC's White House card. It's happening next June. UFC President Dana White says the octagon where the fights will take place is so heavy that they will need to have to replace the grass on the South Lawn before they're even done.
Interesting.
Seems like they should have it at the Pentagon, have the octagon at the Pentagon instead of at the White House. That'd be kind of fun. And they have math teachers around, and they could teach at the same time. Make it some kind of event. Conor McGregor altogether, this guy, he can, we all know he's a fighter, but he's in the news either good or bad or whatever. And a lot of people are wondering, is this wrestling thing on the White House lawn a great idea? It's America.
Ultimate fighting, MMA.
Ultimate fight. Big difference. I guess it is a fight, isn't it?
It's going to be terrific. It's going to be
I keep saying wrestling, but it is actual fighting, so thank you for clarifying that.
We're back right after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hello, everybody. Mitch English here.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
So glad to have you here for the big party.
Yes, and we've got Matt Doolittle keeping his eye on our stations across the nation. Hey, Matty.
Hello, 219 great affiliates all across this country and the Armed Forces Network, which is all around the world. But you can watch us online. Just go to dailyflashshow.com, click where to watch, and you can send it to your friends and family. And today we're shouting out WYCU in Pittsburgh, PA. Hey. What's up, Dr. Frank?
Dr. Frank, right, yeah, Dr.
The
Frank.
biggest celebrity I know from Pittsburgh is Dr. Frank.
Yes, the Steeler City, all right? Pittsburgh, cool place. It's neat I was watching Jack Reacher, Is that
Jack Reacher? Yeah.
Anyway, but it takes place in Pittsburgh. It's like, hey, I know that because our radio show used to be based out of Pittsburgh.
The Fort Pitt Tunnel, when you come through it's amazing. It's such a beautiful
You come
view.
through and you see the river and stuff.
Yeah, and the city.
Cool. Not really,
cool.
and the city, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we all hate work emails. Are you agreed on that? Everybody, they're very important. You have to respond to them sometimes, just so that the person knows. And every organization has to deal with this.
Yes.
We send emails out. That's where all the information goes through. Well, CBS, they have a brand new editor-in-chief. Her name is Barry Weiss.
Barry Weiss, yeah.
Which, by the way, is the name of a beer, too, by the way. So when I first, it is, go look for it. It's called Barry Weiss, except Barry's Berry. Anyway, she gets hired, first off, very young, in her 40s. And so a lot of people are like, CBS wants to shake up their news department. And she came in, got a great pedigree. She actually had her own website, very successful.
Free Press. And actually Skydance, which now owns CBS, purchased Free Press Media from her.
And they go, let's use the resources that we have. So she gets in, and just imagine as any person in a new position, they want to find out what's going on. She sends this email out and says, hey, tell me what you do all day and what you think of CBS. And then said, you must respond to this email. Okay. So that goes out to everybody, the entire news department. Well, they freak out at CBS, the people do. Unions are now getting involved. The Writers Guild of America comes up and says no. And now CBS is kind of backtracking a little bit and says, all right, you don't have to respond to this. It's not mandatory. So it kind of lends itself to the question, mandatory emails or responses should that be, in fact, enacted, especially for a new person coming in. And there's also little issues about what you actually meant.
Well, if you're a new boss coming into a situation and you're new to an organization, you probably want to know what people's roles are and what they're doing. And she said she sent a note to CBS News staffers asking each member of the organization to detail what they do and what they believe is working or not working for them at the network. And she asked them to send them to her by Tuesday so she can have everything. So, of course, you can interpret that a number of different ways, right? Now, Barry has quite a pedigree. She used to work at the New York Times. She left the New York Times because she was bullied because she said to the staffers there, we have to share both sides of the opinion. She leans left, but she sees the importance of sharing both sides of an argument.
Well, you might not know, but October is Cyber Security Month. It's a critical reminder that cyber attacks are on the rise. And joining us right now with some very simple steps to protect yourself is Brittany Murray.
AI is completely reshaping the cybersecurity world. It's a game changer, and it's moving at lightning speed, and executives are taking it very seriously. The data shows that the vast majority of employees, roughly 88%, are willing and ready to upskill. In all actuality, AI functions as a massive upskilling opportunity for the entire workforce. At Perscolis, we offer a no-cost tech training and career support program directly to individuals looking to launch and advance their careers in technology. We design our curricula through a direct feedback loop with employers, guaranteeing relevance. We prioritize a blend of future-proof technical skills like cybersecurity and AI with core human competencies in mind, such as problem solving and critical thinking, that thrive in an increasingly automated world. The jobs of the future are going to require us to work directly together with technology. And our training at Perscolis prepares people to be at the forefront of that collaboration. You can visit us at perscolis.org to learn more about our programs.
Well, fall season, it's a perfect time to embark on home improvements. And joining us right now is George Oliphant. He's TV personality and a home improvement expert. George, let's kick it off. Let's start with safety. What do you got for fire safety?
Well, October is Fire Prevention Month, and it is a great time to remember that fire safety, it starts at home. Now, 1 in 5 homes are at risk of not having a working smoke alarm. So please check yours and replace any 10 years old or over. Now, First Alert, the most trusted fire safety brand, offers 10-year sealed battery alarms with precision detection, advanced sensing technology to provide early warnings and help reduce nuisance alarms from cooking or steam.
Let's go over to the laundry room. What do you recommend to levering up our laundry game?
Well, if you've ever struggled trying to reach items at the bottom of the tub, Get ready for a more comfortable, ergonomic experience with LG's Smart Top load washers. LG's Easy Unload angled front design puts everything within easy reach, and no sock will be left behind. The intuitive electronic controls and built-in intelligence makes it easy to customize your wash or let AI Wash do it for you, all with a sleek, modern design that elevates any laundry room.
Anything you can suggest for freshening up our home?
Well, fall is here, and it's the perfect time to refresh your home for the season's gatherings. Now, Rust-Oleum, a company known for their trusted spray paint, also offers incredible DIY solutions like their home countertop and floor kits. Now, if you're like me, you probably have a space in your home that you love, but might need some TLC. These kits make it quick and affordable to refresh that space in just one weekend, without the cost or the hassle of a full remodel. With stunning finishes like high gloss epoxy or the very popular faux marble, you can transform areas like your guest bathroom, entryway, or even a coffee table in just a weekend. These kits are affordable, durable, and so easy to use for any DIYer, no sanding or priming required. Just visit rustoleum.com/ROHome to get started on your new look today.
Hey, I want to talk about this. Are there any financing options when it comes to fixing up our home? Because I think that's where it all starts.
If you're thinking about a home project this fall, you're going to want to consider using your home equity. A home equity line of credit, or a HELOC, lets you borrow against your home's value at a variable rate. Chase's new HELOC allows you to access up to 80% of your home's value without changing your current mortgage rate, making it an efficient way to fund upgrades. Now, you want to check with a Chase home lending professional just to confirm all your options.
And let's head over to the kitchen. What about some home improvements there?
Well, for the luxury kitchen, SKS just released a 36-inch Pro induction range, bringing with it faster cooking times, precision temperature control, and Energy Star rated efficiency.
Where do folks go if they want more info?
You can go to All the Brands site or visit my social for info on everything. FirstAlert.com, LG.com, Rustoleum.com/ROHome, Chase.com/MyEquity, and SKSAppliances.com.
George, thank you. We'll post this on our website, dailyflashshow.com/FMI. Culture makers are using a major brewer and unused rooftops to make a new kind of social experiment. They're actually creating vibrant hubs of social connection via satellite imagery. This is cool. Check it out.
My name is Tom Hagen. I'm an aerial photographer, and I'm here in beautiful Seoul with Heineken, shooting a campaign about rooftop revival. Heineken has been transforming rooftops in the city into social spaces. Seoul was chosen for its high urban density and distinctive green-painted flat roofs, which go largely unused. Heineken wanted to address the paradox that modern cities may contain millions of people, but they are often experienced in isolation. When we were discussing about the project, I really saw the link between Heineken as a brand connecting people and the city and its hidden potential. The initiative launched with a series of rooftop events. Event locations were disclosed using Maxa satellite imagery with red stars marking each spot. Creatives in Seoul led rooftop music sets, food tastings, and design workshops. I captured the action from above with aerial photography. I wanted to show that the solution to modern loneliness don't require new infrastructure, just a fresh perspective on socializing.
Well, Kroger has some tips on how to be the best house on the block for trick-or-treaters this Halloween. Joining us now is Mary Ellen Adcock. Hi, Mary Ellen. What's the secret to being the best house on the block for Halloween this year?
Well, Halloween is candy's time to shine. So first, to have the great house on the block, we want you to have enough candy. So think about having at least 300 pieces of candy for an average size neighborhood, and then definitely having a lot of choices. There's the chocolate with the favorite of the Reese's pumpkin, but then also the gummies are very popular with Twizzlers and Skittles, and my son loves the Sour Patch Kids, and it's always a good idea to have an allergen-free option as well. So you really have everybody to have a great Halloween.
Oh, great advice there. What about some other new surprising trends you're seeing this year?
We're seeing some really great trends. Pizza actually is one of Halloween's biggest nights. We've got a lot of options of frozen pizza, or you can do a make your own pizza station to have some activities. And another great trend are charcuterie board, but making it a candy board using marshmallows with a chocolate for eyes and candy corn to make it really fun. That's a really great trend that we're seeing as well.
Oh, I love those ideas. Great stuff. Mary Ellen, thank you so much. For more information, please visit Kroger.com. Did you know that untreated AFib doubles the risk of mortality, including 5 times the risk of heart failure and almost 2.5 times the risk of stroke? Here's Dr. Dietrich Clark with more.
Atrial fibrillation is a cardiac arrhythmia in which the upper chamber of the heart goes from beating on average 60 to 90 beats a minute at rest to 300 to 500 beats a minute, sporadically and spontaneously. This arrhythmia is the most common arrhythmia in the United States, and it's the most common arrhythmia in the world. It is estimated that over 10 million people in the United States have atrial fibrillation, and that number is expected to climb in the next decade, up to 32% increase. It is estimated that 1 in 4 adults will be impacted by atrial fibrillation within their lifetime. Now, why is it important to address early intervention and detection? Well, atrial fibrillation is affiliated with certain symptoms. Those symptoms are, for some people, fatigue, palpitations, their heart is racing, shortness of breath, dizziness, lightheadedness, spontaneous feelings of anxiety. I cannot walk or exert myself like I used to. And for some people, what they're describing is that I just feel like I'm slowing down. Well, AFib is a progressive disease, so those symptoms I just alluded to will only get further along and more difficult to treat and control. There are also clinical conditions that are just as bad or even more insidious than those symptoms. Specifically, atrial fibrillation is associated with a 5 times higher risk of heart failure, a 2.4 times higher risk of stroke, and a 2 times higher risk of sudden cardiac death. All these things are present if left untreated. Now let's talk about how do you treat it. Well, atrial fibrillation is treated with medications, sometimes blood thinners, medications to control the rate so the heart rate doesn't go too fast, and medications to try to keep you in rhythm. Those are called antiarrhythmics. However, for patients who either cannot tolerate certain medications or have side effects of medications, and there are some patients who, even in spite of that, their atrial fibrillation is still progressing, there is a procedure called a catheter ablation. And what a catheter ablation is, it is a minimally invasive, safe, effective procedure that is designed to isolate the abnormal electrical signals that is triggering AFib from the normal conduction system of the heart, therefore allowing your heart to stay in a normal rhythm. The procedure is safe and effective, although like all procedures, there's an inherent risk, and you can talk to your doctor to see if you're a candidate of it. Johnson & Johnson has a comprehensive patient resources that allows you to learn more about this. You can go to getsmartaboutafib.com to get more literature and to discuss and see if catheter ablation is an option for you.
Serious matter here. We're talking prostate cancer, and it affects 1 in every 8 men, yet more than half of men above the age of 40 have not yet been screened. Joining us now to discuss the importance of getting screened is Dr. Philip Koo and Gina Carruthers of the Prostate Cancer Foundation. Dr. Koo, I'll start with you. Who is at risk when it comes to prostate cancer?
There are people who are at normal risk, and then those who are at higher risk. And those who fall in the higher risk categories include men of African American descent, and also those who have a positive family history of cancer.
So when should men actually start being screened for prostate cancer?
So we recommend that you get for someone with normal risk factors, they start screening at the age of 45. For those who are at higher risk, again, African American men and patients with a positive family history, we recommend getting screened starting at the age of 40, so 5 years earlier.
Gina, why is there so much hesitation when it comes to just being screened?
So Prostate Cancer Foundation did a survey going into the Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, the month of September. And what we learned in that survey is that over half of the men over the age of 45 don't even know they should be being screened and don't realize that screening is a simple blood test. And the first method that's used for screening prostate cancer is a simple blood test. So we believe that screening and having a call to action for screening based on our survey results is essential to get men screened. And we know early diagnosis leads to a 99% cure rate.
And what are the treatment options available for most men when it comes to prostate cancer?
There's multiple treatment options available. Today, a staggering number of men in this country are being diagnosed with advanced or metastatic prostate cancer. So those men are in a different category. But when it's diagnosed early, the two most common, first of all, there's active surveillance. So if the cancer is of a low incidence to progress, and we can diagnose that in men, then they are just watched. And that's really active surveillance. If in fact we have a cancer that needs treatment, then there are really two standard treatments that are used in early diagnosis, either surgery, removing the prostate, or radiation therapy, radiating the prostate and the pelvic bed to prevent the cancer from continuing to grow.
Hey, thank you both for that important information. If you'd like more info, just visit pcf.org.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. It's time for some must watch.
Okay, here we go. Mother's worst nightmare begins to unfold when her son disappears. Questions expose family secrets. Things start to fall apart. This is today's must watch series, All Her Fault.
Bye, Mommy.
Bye, sweetheart. 99% of the time when a child goes missing, it's a misunderstanding between parents, grandparents, nannies.
Hi, I'm Marissa. I'm here to pick up my son, Milo.
There's no Milo here. But Milo's been missing for nearly 5 hours now. It's not a misunderstanding.
I'm so sorry.
If anyone has any information, please, we beg you, come forward.
Ms. Irvine, did you contact a publishing house? Couldn't your current debt be offset by what you might stand to gain?
He's my son!
I have a picture here of Carrie Finch. So she is my son.
We found a body.
She isn't working alone.
People feel bad for me, but they don't want to talk to me. They think that he's gone.
I don't think that. We do anything for our kids. That's our job.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection to Carrie Finch.
You don't understand. It was just the people in this room.
Is there a chance that your husband may have received a ransom notification?
You wouldn't keep something that big from me.
You, Colin, and Leah are all lying to me. You're hiding something from me, and I don't know what that is.
What are you gonna do? I will do whatever it takes.
I think even good people can do bad things if they're pushed.
Maybe you're the reason Milo went missing.
You know, I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
Ooh, what a great cast.
I'm ready to get into a good series.
Yeah, that looks good.
I like that. Well, we appreciate you getting into our series, Daily Flash, and we'll do it once again in 23 hours.
That's true. For more information, all you have to do, head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. You can even sound off on anything we've talked about today. Just hit that sound off button.
So easy. We love hearing from you, too. Like something, don't like it, let us know. Have a good one. We'll see you when we look at it.